Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video I have a long acrylic design set to share with you all, so I really hope you all enjoy watching. I really had fun doing this set and I kind of just was making it up as I went along. Like, I didn't really have a design in mind. All I knew was that I picked out this glitter and that was what I wanted to use. This one is from Charlie's Nail Art. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I'll leave it linked in the description box below. And then I kind of just looked through my acrylic colours and tried to pick out colours that would match or complement the glitter. So for my core colour, I'm using this one from WowBao. And then the colours I went for was Enchanted. Now, I absolutely love this one, and this was my first time properly using it in a design. I do only use a little bit in the design, but it's such a gorgeous colour. I love anything purple, as you probably know because I've mentioned it a few times on my channel. Then the next colour I went for was Sunflower. This is a really nice yellow. I think it's going to be a really nice one for the summer. I felt as though these nails had a bit more of a summer rather than spring vibe to them in the end. And then I did want to add a little bit of gold because that glitter mix did have some matte gold dots in there. So I went for Gold Liquor, which is a gold and dark, it's like a dark gold shimmery colour. A bit hard to explain, but you'll see it when I apply it. Let's move on to the nails. So on the middle finger, I'm coming in with Crown Sparkle. This is one of the core colours from WowBao, and it's a little hard to see on camera, but it has a really beautiful, colourful shimmer through it as well. There's some different colours that reflect in different lights, so it's a really, really pretty mix. But as I said, you can't really see the shimmer too much on the camera. But I've just placed this down at the cuticle area and blended it down. I don't want to take it too far down the nail. I just want to cover that natural nail area, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the ring finger because these two nails are pretty much the same. So you'll see here I'm placing down a medium-sized bead, tucking it in and tapping it up into place at the cuticle area, and then I'm just patting and walking it down just to cover that natural nail bed area. And then I'm just blending out the top of it slightly so that there's not a harsh line or any bulkiness with the acrylic. Making sure to keep everything as neat as possible, and also make sure that you keep all of your products off the skin and cuticle area. So now I'm going to come in with my glitter, and this is a really chunky mix. I've picked it up with a small wet bead of clear acrylic, but I'm keeping a lot of the monomer in my brush so I'm able to move these chunkier pieces around. I didn't want them overlapping too much, so I'm kind of just nudging them around so there's not too many pieces overlapping. If you're using a chunky glitter like this, you can pop a finer glitter underneath. But I didn't want to add any additional sparkle to this nail. I kind of just wanted it to be the matte glitter. So that's why I just worked with the one glitter. And I'm just taking my time to nudge those pieces around till I'm happy with how they're all placed. And I'm just swooping it across the nail. I don't want to take it all the way down to the tip of the nail because I wanted there to be glass tips. So once I'm happy with that, I'm also going to come in with some gold leaf pieces. So I just popped down a little wash of clear acrylic just so that they had something to stick onto. And then I'm just picking up, I think, 1 or 2 pieces, and I do some down on the nude acrylic and some up on the clear tip. I only added a couple of pieces just because I wanted a little bit more of a pop of gold because we have already got a few gold pieces in the glitter. So again, I'm just going to come in with a little wash of clear acrylic just to simply hold them in place. And then I'm just going to tap them down and nudge them into place. I love gold leaf. I feel as though you can use a little or a lot and it just adds a really nice effect to the nail. So now I am going to do exactly the same again here, but I want the swoosh to kind of go the other way just so that it looks quite appealing to the eye when you look at both of the nails. Again, working with wet beads of clear acrylic. The wetter your bead of acrylic is, the easier it's kind of to move those glitter pieces around. You don't want to work with a too large or too dry bead of acrylic because you're just going to be adding unnecessary bulk to the nail. This glitter bead, or sorry, this bead of acrylic that we're coming in with is simply just to place those glitter pieces into and just to hold them so they don't move around when it does come to encapsulating. And I really did love this glitter mix. I'm kind of annoyed at myself that I can't remember the name of it, but I'm not at my nail desk to double check. I've nipped out to get my daughter from school and I'm here a little bit early, so I thought I'd just use the opportunity to voice over the video. But like I said, I will double check what it's called and leave it in the description box below. I know that it's from Charlie's Nail Art, and I do also have a discount code for Charlie's, which is always in the description box below as well. The gold leaf, by the way, is also from Charlie's, I believe, too. So that's what these two nails look like. I absolutely loved them. So I'm just going to leave those to set and then we'll encapsulate further along in the video. So moving on to the pointer finger, I'm going to create an extended nail bed, again using that crown sparkle colour. So I've placed my first bead of acrylic down. As you can see, I've blended the back of the bead into that natural nail plate. And then I'm just working with the bead as it's polymerizing just to create my smile line shape. I'm trying to get the shape as perfect as I can with my brush because then I'm going to have less filing to do. So as you can see, I'm just giving it a moment to set. It is still a little bit wet and I'm just coming in with my brush and nudging the sides into place. And then I'm going to come in with my second bead of acrylic. So I'm placing this down right at that cuticle area, tapping it up into place at the cuticle and then pulling it down. Crown Sparkle is a core colour, so it doesn't need to be encapsulated. So I'm making sure to build up my apex here as well. Now, if I was doing this on myself, I probably would have come in with a third bead of acrylic just to build up that apex area a little bit more. But when I'm working on my Glamerliz, I don't stress too much about structure. So sometimes if the nails do look a little bit on the thin side, it's kind of more because I focused on the design aspect rather than the structure aspect, because my Glamerliz isn't going to be wearing these nails anywhere, so she hasn't got to worry about breaking them. But obviously if you are doing the sets on yourself, or when I'm working on myself, I really make sure that I'm building up the correct thickness and the correct apex. So moving on to the little finger. The little finger is nice and simple. We're just doing a full colour now of the gold liquor. Originally I was going to pop some gold foils over the top of this now. That's why I just left it plain when it comes to applying the glitter, or the acrylic, sorry. But then when it come to after I'd encapsulated, I was looking through my foils and I didn't feel as though I had any foils that complemented the gold acrylic. They were a bit more yellow gold and this has got that more darker gold tone to it, so I just left it as a full glitter nail. Now I'm going to come in and encapsulate all of the nails because I need to file my pointer finger and I don't want any of the dust to land on the top of my glitter and end up encapsulated. So whilst I was still waiting for the nail bed to set anyway, I just thought I would come in and encapsulate. So these nails are quite long, so I'm starting off with my encapsulation bead roughly 3/4 of the way down the nail and just focusing on capping the very tip of the nail, making sure that it's thick enough that it wouldn't snap, and also making sure to encapsulate all of those glitters. Now when I am encapsulating chunkier glitters, I like to work slightly wetter just so that that acrylic really gets all around those chunkier pieces and that there's going to be no air bubbles or anything like that as well. So I'm just working my way up the nail. Here I'm coming in with my cuticle bead, just tapping that into place. I left the bulk of that where I'd placed it down to create that apex, but again, when it did come to filing, I felt as though these nails were a little bit on the thin side. Here I did decide to come in with another bead because the tip area was looking very, very thin, and if you do your tip too thin, when it comes to filing, you run the risk of snapping it. And also you want to make sure that you've got enough thickness in your acrylic that you are able, sorry, to file and contour the nail and get a nice shape. So I just come in with another bead there, and then I did encapsulate the other two nails off camera. So we're going to jump to filing our smile line. So this is a little tricky to do on camera. I really struggle with filing on camera. I don't know what it is, but I find it quite difficult. But I'm doing my best to show you guys. I'm using a 100 grit file and I'm just sharpening up the smile line. I've created the shape as best as I can with my acrylic, so I'm just neatening it up as best I can with my file. I've said it in every single video that I do a smile line in, but they are the one thing I really struggle with. I definitely need a little bit more practice. After I'd finished this set, I just felt as though this part of the nail was a little bit uneven and not very, I don't know, I wasn't 100% happy with it, but overall I did like how the nail turned out. Now that I am happy with the extended nail bed, I'm going to come in with the Enchanted colour. So this is that gorgeous purple colour, and I'm placing this down and pushing it right up against that nude colour, making sure to get as far down into the wings as I can with this first bead of acrylic. But rather than covering the whole tip of the nail, I'm kind of creating another smile line shape. So I'm working with it exactly the same as what I did when I did the nail bed area. So I'm just mapping out that shape. As the acrylic is polymerizing, I'm pushing it into place and trying to get the shape as perfect as I can with the acrylic. I then did decide to build it up a little bit more, so I come in with another bead of acrylic, place that down on the top, and I'm just taking that right down into the wings, and again just building up the height of the acrylic so that I can file it and I've got a thick enough ledge for my next colour to go up against. It doesn't matter if the purple goes over the nude, because when it comes to finish filing we can remove all of this excess acrylic with our file, and then we should reveal our nice crisp shape. Again, I'm just using the sides of my brush to push into this acrylic and create the shape, using the very tip of my brush to neaten it up if needed. I really faffed and messed around with this because I wanted to get it as neat as I could with my brush, because I absolutely hate filing smile lines. So that's why I am just taking my time to get this as neat as possible. So whilst I'm faffing around with that, I thought I'd take a moment to check in with you all and see how you are all doing. Here in England, we have had some of our lockdown restrictions lifted. So as of today, which I'm voicing over this on Monday, but I probably won't upload it till tomorrow. But yeah, as of today, you're allowed to go out and meet up with, I think, up to 6 people outdoors, which I can't wait to be able to go meet up with one of my friends. And yeah, just get out and see some family and do a little bit, have a little bit more of normality. So yeah, I hope that you are all keeping safe and well. Let me know how you are coping. I love checking in with you all and hearing how you're all doing. I feel like the nail community, especially during lockdown, has been a huge lifeline for me. I'm part of a couple of group chats, and I've got some friends that I've made through Instagram and YouTube, and it's so nice just having those people there to talk to. Like I said, especially during lockdown. Moving back to the nails, I did leave the purple to fully set before coming in and filing this section again. So I'm then cleaning away all of the dust before I come in and apply my next colour. So the next colour we're using is that gorgeous sunflower, and I'm kind of working with this a little bit different. I'm working a little bit thinner and wetter with it because I don't want to build up structure this time, or I don't want to build up a ledge this time. So I'm just taking that down right into the wings, pressing it up against the purple as best as I can. I don't want there to be any gap between those two colours, but then I'm fading it out down towards the tip area because I'm not going to take this colour all the way down the tip. So I'm just focusing on getting this again right down into those wings, just so there's no gaps in colour. But I'm keeping it thin because I'm going to encapsulate this section, so I don't want to build up the colour too much. So that's why I'm just working in small beads. Working in smaller beads as well, I personally find it easier for when it is getting down into those little fiddly areas, like right down the sides of the nail. And then, as I said, I'm blending that out as I get down towards the tip. I think I come in with another small bead of yellow here just to blend it down a little bit further. And then at the very tip of the nail, I'm going to come in with the gold liquor that we used on the little finger. And I'm just going to fade this into the yellow. So I wanted the very tip of the nail to be like an ombre. So I'm just fading that back, keeping my brush nice and wet with monomark so I can try and blend those two colours together. It was a little bit tricky as they are both quite pigmented. So I do come back in with another bit of yellow, I think, just to help the blend. I did these nails a couple of days ago, so I keep forgetting the actual steps I took to create those. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just trying to blend those colours as best as I can. I needed to come in with a little bit more yellow just because that gold had overtaken it a little bit. And then I'm also going to come in with a tiny bit more gold just to make that really pop at the very tip of the nail. And then I allowed this to fully set before coming in and encapsulating because I didn't want the colours to run or mush together. So I just let it set, and then I come in and encapsulated with my clear acrylic. So I'm going to come in with a medium-sized bead. I'm just placing that down on the nail, and then I'm pushing it back, making sure to really cover all of that yellow and gold acrylic, and also to build up the rest of the nail because obviously we've worked quite thin with the yellow and gold, so there's no strength or structure built up. So I need to make sure that one, I take that clear acrylic right down into the wings and down into those side walls, and I also need to make sure I build up the tip enough because, like I said, these nails are quite long. So when I place my bead down at the tip, as you can see, I'm blending it back, and that's just to make sure that the clear looks nice and even, that there's no shadow in, and that it just is going to create that really crystal clear effect. keeping my sidewalls nice and clean. As you can see, I'm always wiping and removing any excess acrylic from my sidewalls. That's just going to reduce your finish filing when it does come to filing the nails. And again, me personally, I really struggle getting right down into those wings with my acrylic. So I come in with small beads just to do that, just to make sure that there's no gap and that there's enough product there. And then once I have finished encapsulating that nail, I'm going to leave it to fully set before I come in and file. And I did leave the filing in for this one nail just so you guys can see how I remove the bulk and how I shape the nail, contour and all that jazz. But like I said, I do find filing on camera a little bit tricky, especially when I'm working on the practice hand. So I don't necessarily follow a filing routine as such. I kind of just do my best to get the nail shaped. Here I'm beginning with removing that excess acrylic, so all of the purple that's gone over the nude and any of the clear or yellow that's gone over the purple. And then once I have removed all of that excess, I'm just filing over the top of the nail. This particular one was a little bit uneven and lumpy bumpy, so I'm just filing it to make it as smooth and as contoured as possible. And then I'm going to come in and file the sidewalls and the free edge into shape. And you can see from the previous 3 nails, I went for quite a tapered ballerina shape. So I'm coming in and just bringing the tip of that nail in a little bit more so that it's nice and slim. And then I'm just making sure that I've got a nice, sharp, crisp shape. As I'm filing, I am checking from all angles, and I am also having to slide my tip back in a little bit because I was using quite short nail bed tips on this particular day. So it was a little bit trickier to file than normal. If you have got a Glamerliz hand, I advise using the long square tips that Glamerliz provide, because when I had those, I didn't have any trouble with filing because they slide a lot further back into the cuticle wells, and where they're square it holds them in place a little bit better as well. But I'm just doing my best to get them shaped as nicely as possible. And then I'm going to go off camera, give the hand a good scrub with a nail brush to remove all of the dust. And I do also like to just wash away all of the dust with some warm soapy water. So I do all of that off camera, and then I'm going to pop back and we can top coat. So this is what they looked like when I had finished filing, and this is what they looked like when they had all been cleaned up. So I'm now going to come in and top coat. I'm top coating today using the WowBao Diamond Shine No Wipe Top Gloss. So I'm just going to pop a nice thin layer of this over all of the nails and then pop them in to cure for 60 seconds. And that, guys, is the end of the design. So I really hope you all enjoyed watching. I really enjoyed doing this set, so I hope you enjoyed watching. Oh, one other thing I did want to say as well, off camera on the glass tip nails, I did top coat underneath just to make them that little bit more clearer. So I just top coated the tops of the nails like you see here, popped it into cure, and then flipped the hand over and top coated underneath, and it just helps give that really see-through glass effect. But anyway, like I was saying, I hope you all enjoyed watching. If you did, then please give the video a thumbs up or leave me a comment below. If you're watching and you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love it if you hit subscribe, and then I shall see you in the next video. Lots of love, take care, bye bye.